Hey guys, what's up? Joe here, bringing you my video game collection update, if I can call it that. And this is on my phone, so it's probably gonna sound like crap. I'd use my webcam, but it tends to get blurry, and it's really hard to move around and control. But anyway, I recently went on a big video game buying spree, and this is kind of what my stack of games looks like. You probably can't tell, but here's my foot for reference. It's way down there at the bottom. Yeah, it's a really big stack. Now, I didn't buy all of those all at once, but most of them I tend to have bought. I'd say maybe about 5, 6 of them I purchased recently. Alright, so to start with the collection, let's start with the bad boys of PlayStation, which is my bigger stack. It'll take the longest to get through these guys. But anyway, let's move these guys over onto my counter, or my table here if you want to call it that. Anyway, starting off we have Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, one of my favorite PlayStation 2 games. Sequels I never bothered to touch, Jak 2, Jak 3. But the first one, played it, loved it, and that's really all I gotta say about that. It's probably gonna be a really weird video with all the turning. I should probably just keep it this way. Alright, so we got Jak and Daxter, Jak 2, and Jak 3. All probably great games. I've seen them all, and they all look great. And we'll start with another series from the other bad boys of PlayStation. We've got Sly Cooper and the Previous Recrutus. Never played these ones, but I've heard great things about it. And of course, Sly 2 and the Band of Thieves. Man, all these are brand new, by the way, still. So you can see my reflection in them in some cases. And Sly 3, Honor Among Thieves. So, never played those. Hopefully they're great. I'm sure they are. Moving on to the third and final of the bad boys, PlayStation. We've got Ratchet and Clank. Now, the first one, not new. Got it at GameStop because it wasn't so expensive. Probably should have bought it new like I did the rest. So we got Ratchet and Clank, the first one by Insomniac Studios. Haven't played it. I heard great things about it. Now we got Ratchet and Clank 2 Going Commando. You can actually barely see the 2 there, but it's like made out by the Clank Going Commando bit. Just noticed that myself, actually. Also brand new. Ratchet and Clank 3 Up Your Arsenal. At least I believe this is number 3. Doesn't specifically say anywhere. And what I assume is number 4, Ratchet Deadlocked. So, don't know if it's actually part of the main series or not, but yeah, I don't know. I don't have a PS3, not going to get any of those games. And then we move on to one of the better series that have ever came to exist in the PlayStation society. We have Devil May Cry. Now this game I actually bought a long time ago, so the case is actually a generic one. I actually printed out the cover art myself, as well as the back art. So it's pre-owned. Devil May Cry's got no side picture. Devil May Cry 1, currently doing a walkthrough of it, and hopefully it'll turn out to be a great game. And we've got Devil May Cry 2. I bought this even though it sucks apparently, mostly because, I'm a completionist, gotta have it. And Devil May Cry 3 Dante's Awakening. This one I had almost as long as I had the first one. It's been on my shelf all these years, never bothered to touch it. So let's get him out of the way, and we'll move on. A game that's pretty much a Devil May Cry clone from what I've seen of it. It's called Chaos Legion. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to play it much, but hey, it looks pretty interesting. Sorry about this. I don't know if to focus on my camera or in my games, so I'm going to focus on my games. So, another good game, Shinobi. I don't know how many of the sequels or whatever on PlayStation 2, but I gotta look for them. So I got the first one. I haven't played it. Here, the series is hard, so hopefully that turns out fun. And now we've got all these good-ass games by Square Enix. One of my personal favorites, Dirge of Cerberus, Final Fantasy VII. The story that's all about Vincent Valentine. Fucking amazing game, love it. Haven't played it in a while. Hopefully you do walk through that one of these days. We got Kingdom Hearts, really definitive, powerful game. Takes a lot of the elements you find in Final Fantasy, even the characters, and brings it into a new action-oriented style gameplay. And we've got Kingdom Hearts 2, which, in my opinion, total crap, at least plot-wise. But at the same time, once you get done with it, it's actually pretty good at a good tie into the story. However, I still can't seem to get used to it. Maybe because I haven't played it myself and only have seen my brother play bits and pieces of it. So let's get those off to the side. Final Fantasy X, the first game in the PS2 series of Final Fantasy games. Pretty good game. Haven't played it myself. Hopefully I'll do that in the future. Final Fantasy 2, sorry, that's dog hair. My floor is covered in it. And that's why I've been holding them all. Final Fantasy X2, I'm guessing it's some kind of a weird sequel to Final Fantasy X. No idea. I don't really care. And then Final Fantasy 12. Final Fantasy 11 was a multiplayer game, so I never bothered to buy it. Don't really give a shit. This game, however, no idea what it's about. I guess it might be kind of cool. And I got it just for the completion of the Final Fantasy series on PS2, because you know how that goes. Alright, so moving on, some horror games by Tecmo. We've got Fatal Frame, based on a true story. A horror game, takes place in events with cameras and shit. Fatal Frame 2, The Crimson Butterfly, brand new. Actually ended up buying 2 of that by accident. No idea how. And Fatal Frame 3 by Tecmo. So a horror series of games. Look interesting. Hopefully they're fun. Probably scared the crap out of me though, you know. Now, one of the best series I've ever seen, ever, Metal Gear Solid. And of course, the first one would be for PlayStation. I don't have it. However, I could always buy the, what's this series called? Essentials. Metal Gear Solid Essentials, which goes with 1, 2, and 3 in a pack. But the first one's still for PlayStation, not PS2. Though I hear Metal Gear Solid 3 Substance or whatever has the first one, from what I read, but I can't verify that. Wish someone would for me. So we got Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, fantastic game. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, a game with cutscenes so long. That's pretty much most of the game. But hey, pretty badass. Maybe make some videos on those in the future. You know, if I ever get around to it. And then we got another series that I haven't really got into, but it always look neat. We have Onimusha. Sorry, with the first game I think is Warlords. Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny. Onimusha Dawn of Dreams, I think comes next in the series, I'm not sure. I'm just going by the dates on the back. And we have Onimusha 3 Demon Siege, which appears to have Gene Reno on the back, but can't verify. Can anyone verify that as Gene Reno? I think it's him. Alright, so moving on to my next stack. Oh my god, what a big stack this is. Let's just start with the top few. They're so heavy. Bam, 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 bam. Shadow of the Colossus. I actually did buy this new, but I got it wrapped up like this, so maybe it is new, or maybe they just wrapped it like that to make it look nice. Shadow of the Colossus, Adventure Game of the Year, probably great game of the century. Containing almost no dialogue, at least none that I recall, yet still managing to say a lot about a game. Probably one of the greatest games I've ever seen. Haven't got around to playing it myself, but it's so amazing. Alright, so, I need more space on my desk for this. We have Xenosaga, Episode 1, 2, and 3. 3 was the most expensive, it was harder to find, and getting it new was mostly cheaper. Number 2 there, not new like the 1 and 3 are. We have Xenosaga Episode 1, De Will zur Macht, which I guess is some kind of a German opera or something. And we have Xenosaga Episode 2, Jansi Zwangut und Bose. No idea. It sounded French for me, but I'm pretty sure it's German, so I probably said that totally wrong. No idea what the series is about, but I think it's some kind of tie-in series to Xenogears, which was popular on the PlayStation. It's by Namco, so probably great. However, the third one, also Sprach Zarathustra, which I believe is an opera by an American, which, you know, is famous for being inside 2001 Space Odyssey. It goes dum 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 dum. Yeah, that whole thing. So this is an RPG series. Haven't played it. Looks pretty cool. And we have Valkyrie Profile 2, Silmeria. First one I think is for PlayStation, so I didn't buy it because I'm not making a PlayStation collection just yet, but I'll be working on that soon. So, looks fun by Square Enix, so it must be good. However, it's all about Valkyries and shit, which is what makes it really badass. So, let's get my next stack out. Tales of the Abyss. This was the only game I could find for the PS2 by the Tales series that actually seemed worth getting. The other ones I'm not going to bother with because they were either ports or remakes, so I didn't get those. Arc the Lad, Twilight of the Spirits, and Arc the Lad, End of Darkness. Arc the Lad on the PlayStation, I'm sure, is probably better than these two pieces of crap. I got this one new, this one not new, so new, not new. And by Namco, and one is doesn't even say Namco on the back, but I hear that this one sucks. End of Darkness, I hear sucks. But, you know, I'll find out if I play around. And then we got Persona 3 and Persona 4. Shin Megami Tensei series of Persona, that is. Or Persona series of Shin Megami Tensei. Lots of Shin Megami Tensei games, only a couple Persona ones, and I think the other ones are on PSP or something, so I didn't get those. Rated M, they're really pretty badass RPG games. I'll play them sometime in the future if I get a chance. And my last few RPG games here. Star Ocean Until the End of Time. I have the other Star Ocean game on Xbox, so you should get to see that later. This game is, I got new, but for some reason the booklet came tied on the outside, which is a bit strange, but, you know, whatever. Radiata Stories, I hear, is great. I need to play that sometime in the future. I think I bought it from GameStop. Most of the price tags on there, I don't know if I actually paid those prices or if they were there from when I bought them. And we got Rogue Galaxy, which is probably the weakest RPG out of all the ones here, but, you know, whatever. We'll find out when we do get around to playing them. Or when I get around to playing them, at least. And then we have Dark Cloud, a really fantastic RPG game that I think is probably better than the second one, which I never really played, but I played the demo back when you used to get those demo CDs in like a Sony magazine, or whatever magazine it was. PlayStation used to send us that shit. So Dark Cloud, really loved it, never got that far into it. Would like to try it again sometime in the future. Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. It's like a RPG, Eastern style, but Western mythology and made by Western people, so pretty badass. I hear it gets pretty difficult, and I haven't played it forever. And Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, probably the greatest Western-style RPG on the PlayStation 2. Really, no game will compete with this in terms of Western-style RPGs, I swear to God. That game is amazing. Second one I haven't played. Never got to work, I guess. Let me see. Next stack of games for PS2. Medal of Honor Frontline, probably the greatest shooter for its time. And still, I think it's one of the best shooters in terms of story. And Medal of Honor Rising Sun, which I originally played on GameCube a while back. Don't have it on GameCube, got it on PS2 because, hey, got Medal of Honor Frontline on PS2. Keeps the collection in the family, that's what I say. And Dynasty Warriors 5. I have 4, but I don't have the case, so I didn't bother showing it for you guys. But Dynasty Warriors 5, hands down my favorite Dynasty Warriors game to date. Haven't played 6, though I think it kind of sucks most part on PS2 and Xbox 360. It's probably lacking because of its PS2 port that it has existing. Probably holds it back a little bit. Not sure how to play it, but I also dislike how Dynasty Warriors 6 changed so many of the characters, weapon styles, and all that. Haven't played 7, hope it's good. And we have Extreme Legends Samurai Warriors, which goes to the Samurai Warriors series as Extreme Legend. It's basically the same thing as Dynasty Warriors, but takes place in the feudal Japan, Tokugawa, or whatever that war was called, I forget. I should know this, I played Shogun too. But oh well. Moving on to more games. We've got Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, my favorite Mortal Kombat game for the PlayStation 2. Absolutely badass how they did this story. And the environments are great, the combat's good. And Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, never played it. And I think there's another one, 2 more Mortal Kombat games for PS2 that I don't have, that I don't know. Now, God of War 2. 2 disc set, no idea what that means, but I should have God of War 1 somewhere, couldn't find it, so it's probably missing somewhere. And Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec, the greatest racing game that ever existed, ever, at least until 2010 came around, I'm sure. And the last little bit of games here, Second Sight, kind of under the radar game that's pretty neat, and it's got an interesting story. You guys might like it if you're into some stealthy games. And we got Dead to Rights, one of the best cop games ever. I played this before I ever played Max Payne, but it's really taken a lot of the elements from Max Payne and made it its own in a way. But it's kind of like a clone of that, but it's not a bad game. I like it, it's still enjoyable. SmackDown Just Bring It. I know there was one wrestling game for PS2 I enjoyed. Not sure if it was this one, but it may have been. But I barely touched this shit. And Spider-Man 2, the greatest superhero game that was ever made. Not sure if any more will be made to match it. Probably the greatest superhero game still. It's incredibly fun, and it really set out and created the open world cityscape. You know, I'm sure Grand Theft Auto had a part to play in that, but really this game nailed it, going from rooftop to rooftop as a superhero. It's just amazing. And then we have 2 movie-based games, Pirates of the Caribbean at World End, that we actually got as part of a PlayStation purchase, so we never touched it. Kind of sucks. And we got X-Men Legends 2 Rise of Apocalypse, which I'm sure isn't that bad of a game, but, you know, I don't really care. Not a fan of those kind of superhero games. Alright, so that's my PS2 collection there. Let's take a look at my GameCube and Xbox 360 games, but I'll show that to you in a second video, so I'll see you guys in a minute.